The defeat to Uruguay with a score of 0-2 in the South American qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup was truly a disaster for Neymar. He was already under a lot of scrutiny after the draw with Venezuela for allegedly organizing a riot and dragging Vinicius and Richarlison into it. No one confirmed that Neymar was the ringleader, but netizens, who already had a grudge against him for his many partying incidents, blamed him for everything. After the match with Venezuela ended, many fans even booed and criticized this forward and his teammates. Neymar understood that only a victory over Uruguay could quell this anger. But no, things got worse. Neymar cried as he had to leave the field at the end of the first half. The 31-year-old forward suffered a left knee injury after falling in the 44th minute. He clutched his injury tightly and was surrounded by players from both teams asking about his condition. Neymar covered his face with both hands as he was stretchered off the field and replaced by Richarlison. Brazil's medical department did not announce his injury at that time, but everyone knew it was serious. At the end of the match, Neymar had to limp off the field. Before starting the video, please take 3 seconds to subscribe to this YouTube channel, which will motivate our team to create more quality videos. Don't forget to ring the bell so you can follow and update many interesting stories about the world of football. As predicted, according to the examination results after the match on the morning of October 18, Neymar completely tore his anterior cruciate ligament, ACL, and meniscus. On social media, both the Brazilian forward and Al Hilal club confirmed the worst injury scenario. He will have to undergo surgery and be out of action for 7 to 8 months. This is the first time Neymar has suffered any injury in his career. Previously, he had been out of action for nearly 2 years due to muscle, eye, rib, and back problems. Since 2020, he has been out for 424 days due to injuries. Neymar has to race against time to make it to Copa America 2024, which takes place in America exactly 8 months later. And frankly speaking, his chances of participating are extremely low. After recovering, Neymar will need time to regain his form. Being out of play for more than half a year will greatly affect his ball sense. Not to mention Neymar is now 31 years old, and no one can predict how fast his body will recover. If it were a few years ago, fans, especially Brazilians, would cry for Neymar. His potential is great. In fact, Neymar is one of the few stars of the 1990 generation who made it into the top 3 of Ballon d'Or in over a decade. But every time he performs well, he gets injured and falls. But this time it seems that there is no more regret or pity. Instead, fans receive this news like, oh, injured again. Is it because of Neymar's frequent injuries? Probably not. Arjen Robben in the past or Marco Reus recently even had more injuries than Neymar. Every time they fell on the field grimacing in pain, fans' hearts were extremely sympathetic. Neymar also used to have such sympathy from fans, but now they are too fed up with him. Why is that? Because to get to this point, Neymar is largely to blame. First, he knows his style of play is prone to injury but refuses to change it to be less flashy, like what his seniors Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have done. It's because of their wise reduction in dodging that this duo can maintain their fitness like this. Second, Neymar parties too much and ruins his career with girls and alcohol. Perhaps there's no need to talk more about these scandals. Just know that just a week ago Neymar was still posting about cherishing his girlfriend after she gave birth. Yet he hastily organized a meat party with a bunch of girls right before the match with Venezuela. If his body wasn't weak and prone to injury, it would be strange. Third, when Neymar decided to choose Arabia over top-tier football, the fans who had put their faith in him were completely disappointed. If you look back at the career of the Brazilian forward, the biggest mark is money, not titles or goals. Neymar set foot in Europe with a contract announced to be worth 57.1 million euros between Santos and Barca in the summer of 2013. However, just a year later, this deal was found to have signs of fraud and cost the Catalan club 86.2 million euros. Half of it, 40 million euros, went to the family of the Brazilian forward. In 2017, Barca was shocked by Neymar when they received notice that the legal representative of this forward had completed a financial obligation of 222 million euros to release the contract. This unimaginable amount of money came from the newly rich PSG. Not only that, just a year before Neymar had just signed a contract with Barca and received what was called a loyalty bonus. In the latest development, Neymar joined Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia for a fee of 90 million euros and received a salary of 320 million euros for 2 years of contract. After 6 years of decline with PSG, no top club would be willing to spend a lot of money to recruit Brazil's forward, let alone spend such a huge amount of money. However, it wasn't until he became a top star that Neymar's father tried every way to sell his star son for the highest price. Many years ago, when Neymar was still a teenager earning $500,000 a year at Santos, Neymar Sr. made $11 million through advertising contracts. Neymar himself once revealed in a sad tone that business is growing very fast. No one understands Neymar's situation better than Luis Álvaro de Oliveira Ribeiro, former president of Santos Club. He is a cheerful, passionate, and somewhat careless man. During his time leading the top team ensemble, and Luis Álvaro always chatted loudly and laughed cheerfully with the press. He is a captivating man who always takes pride in his close relationship with Neymar and the Brazilian striker's inner circle. He went from being a traffic cop to the most powerful man in world football, and his close associate, the former president of Santos, happily talked about Neymar Sr. However, when the transfer scandal between the Neymar family and Barca was exposed, with Santos receiving only a meager 17.1 million euros, Luis Álvaro's respect for the Neymar family was no more. In August 2016, after suffering from depression due to the transfer scandal and cancer, he took his last breath. In his dying moments, Luis Álvaro still managed to write a letter in both Portuguese and Spanish to condemn Neymar's father's fraudulent behavior in negotiations with Barca. The 2-page letter published after his death shows that the 73-year-old man still felt betrayed by the Neymar family. Neymar Sr. once dreamed of becoming a football star, but he soon accepted the reality that his talent was not enough. His career was a painful journey at the bottom of Brazil's football pyramid. He quit the game just after turning 30 due to injuries from a car accident. "Football has treated me terribly. I am not a happy person. I retired at 32 with not a penny to my name," Neymar Sr. admitted. The entire fortune of this former unknown player was a small dilapidated house in Mogi das Cruzes, a suburb of São Paulo. He was so poor that he couldn't afford to take his wife for an ultrasound when she was pregnant with Neymar, Brazil's greatest football talent of the 2010s. They had to live with frequent power outages and rely on can light at night. At one point, the whole family, now including little sister Rafaela, had to move into Neymar's grandparents' old house and sleep together on a worn-out mattress. When Neymar's talent emerged and received attention, Neymar Sr. entrusted his dream of changing his life through football to his son. Every step in the career of this Brazilian football prodigy was calculated by his father to make as much money as possible. But this made his son forget one thing: that the essence of a player is still the values they bring to the pitch. Neymar dances beautifully. It's nice to watch him, but then what? People don't remember anything about him. Neymar's greatest achievement so far is the 2015 Champions League Cup, where Messi was the best player. As for the Brazilian national team, every tournament Neymar participates in results in Brazil being eliminated. The 2019 Copa Championship came exactly when Neymar couldn't participate due to injury. Bitter, isn't it? And because of that, don't blame fans for turning their backs on Neymar himself. Once again, this is TD Sports Channel. If you find this video interesting, please support us by liking the video and subscribing to our channel to keep up to date with the latest and most exciting sports news of the day. See you all in our next videos.